Hey guys, what is up? My name is Jesse. Welcome to my channel where all I talk about is domain format. If you don't know what that is, you can check out my how to play video up here. It's a friendly, casual 4-player games, 60-card singleton, Deckmaster. It's a fun time. And then after watching that video, go ahead and check out domainformat.com. They have a Discord invite, among other things that are really helpful for new players. Just don't tell them I sent you. But I'm here today because Konami put out this banger of a product, Legendary Modern Decks 2026. If you somehow don't know about this product, it is 3 full, complete modern decks that you can play in advance. It has copies of powerful cards like hand traps and starters. This, along with a lot of the other structure decks and pre-con decks that they've been putting out, have really impressed me, and I'm going to start making videos on why, this one being the first. In this video and in other videos that I plan on doing in the future, we're going to be opening up sealed product and just making a domain with just the cards out of that product. Whether it's with one product like this, or by getting a little bit of help and opening 2 products. This is one of the decks I have planned, by the way. So subscribe if you want to catch that when it comes out. So after we unbox this, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and show you guys my process of just building a domain deck with this Legendary Decks box. I let you guys vote on what I would build, and you guys played a cruel joke on me and picked Sabers. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate voting. I want to give you guys what you want to see. So that is what we will do today. I'm going to go ahead and unbox the whole thing and show you every card that's inside. If you want to just skip to the deck building process, you can go ahead and check this timestamps down below. All right, here it is. We've got a shiny foily box. I've like I said in the beginning, I've been absolutely just dumbfounded at how good their new products are. Not that their old products are bad or anything. It's just like, these are very impressive so far. On top of the 3 full decks, you get a extra pack, and these are full of secret rares, and they have a chance of being starlight. So let's see what we got. We got Saji, Shizuku, and X-SABERS Hyunli. No starlight, but it is a cool thing to include in a pre-constructed deck, having some variable, some variance to it. Brings a little bit of extra excitement. I'll save X-SABERS for last, since we're just going to use that for building a deck anyway. All right, bring the camera in a little bit. So for the Mitsurugi deck, it's got Kusanagi, Futsu, Habakiri, Prayers, Mirror, Great Purification, Tempest, Manju. We got 3 Ash Blossoms, Sword Serpent, Saji, Aramasa, Wosu, Murakumo, all 3, Pre-Prep, Extra, 3 of them. Droplet, what an amazing reprint. Another Prayers, another Ritual, Magatama, Sacred Boundary, Imperm, man. What an amazing set of staples to be put in there. And then, like I said, these all have full extra decks, which is kind of crazy that they don't normally do this. But there's Exciton Knight, Tornado, Dragon, Taper, Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, Dugaris, Light Dragon Adagnister, Typhon, Common Typhon, Common Masquerina, Dark, and Dynamondo. 2 common SP Little Knights. This is insane. I was so excited to open this. This alone would have been a crazy pre-con, already an insane amount of value in one deck. Sky Striker, this is the one that I am most excited to build in my own time, for a domain that is. I am interested to see what cards I can add to help keep its resources in rotation in a singleton format. But here we got Linkage, Addlesaber, Hornet Drones, Camellia. I guess they're putting the extra deck first. This is a new one, Surgical Striker Spectra. It's kind of like a generic Link 4 that has an interesting negate that can only be chain link 2 or higher, so I guess you can only use it against things that are used against you. Engage 0, Amatsu, Prototype Sky Striker Ace Amatsu. We got, I imagine, 3 Rays, yep. Nib, we got 2 Nibs, 2 Rose, 3 Raigeki, 1 Feather Duster, 3 Upstart, Rhoda, Called By. We got 3 Engage, 2 Afterburners, Jamming Waves, 3 Widow Anchor, Eagle Booster, Shark Cannon, Sky Striker Mech Armory Hercules Base, Multi-Roll, Area 0, 2 Lightning Storms. We got Triple Tactics Talent, 2 Linkage, Thrust, Common Thrust, Lemonist Gate, Kagari, and the Alt Kagari, 2 Shizuku, 2 Hayate, Kaina, Zeke, Azalea, and Sky Striker Ace 0, and even a cool token to go with it. Like I said, I am most interested in building this in my own time, just because the idea of a deck that's mostly spells is really interesting to me, and this is a great start to building Sky Strikers. All right, last but certainly not least, the X-SABERS. We've got Gotham's Emergency Call, X-Saber Polina. This is the one that I imagine will be the Deckmaster from what I saw. I just read the cards from the archetype for the first time today. This seems to operate similarly as like Rescue Cat, but it also has the added benefit that if it's used for Synchro Summon, it gives the Synchro Summon monster 2 really good abilities. It can attack twice and attack directly. So I imagine if this deck has any chance, it's being able to take out people through a sudden double direct attack. X-Saber Bruno, got him second call. Saber Combination, Commander Soza Swordmaster, which this guy always counts as an X-Saber card. X-Saber Gotham's. Talk about a classic card, huh? X-Saber Airbellum, Palomaru, Pashul, Fault Roll. The deck comes with 3 of these because it's heavily used in the combos for the deck. Ragagura, Full Helm Knight, Garsum, Emmer's Blade, Bogart Knight. There's 3 of those. X-Saber Dark Soul. And look at this. We got 1 of each Molcharmi. So if you were playing Advanced and you bought 3 of this deck, this would instantly give you a full playset of all 3 Molcharmis. Talk about wild, dude. 1 more Polina, 1 more Bruno, E-Telly, X-Saber Slash, Fire Formation Tanky, 3 of them. 2 more got him second call. Call by Talent, Prosperity, Small World, Thrust, got him's Emergency Call, Saber Hole, Daruma Karmakan, that's another good one too. Now, unfortunately, because this is like a synchro pile, they don't care about the types or attributes in the extra deck. So unfortunately, we won't be able to use a lot of these with the Deckmaster that I think we're going to be using. But it does come with Mistworm, X-Saber Urbellum, Black Rose Dragon, Detruria Beast, Barkion, XX Saber Gotham's. This is the main reason why I think this deck can even be slightly considered modern viable. There are combos where you can just rip all 5 cards of your opponent's hand away from them, but the combo's so glass cannon-y that like any interruption I think pretty much stops this. But if you pull it off, they lose their whole hand. This isn't so good in domain format because if you just rip one person's hand, all 3 of those players will just target you. It's not even going to be a debate. On the other hand, though, let's say you decide to hold this off until, 1 or 2 people are taken out and you just kind of want to steal the deal against finishing off one of the players. I think in that case, it's understandable to just hand rip them completely. Another Hyun Lee, Trishula, X-Saber Goza, Cloud Castle, Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, Ravenous Crocodragon, and Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying. This would be really nice to play because it's like one of the best synchro boss monsters in Domain, but it's a water worm. Now, luckily, I've already established what I would like to be my Deckmaster. I genuinely think she's probably the best pick for an X-Saber Domain deck. Like I said, it's pretty much just a Rescue Cat, except it's quite a bit better because it doesn't negate their effects. It does destroy them at the end of turn, but you're obviously going to like Synchro Summon. And then if you ever get this back in play and use this as Synchro Summon material, it gives the Synchro monster the ability to attack twice and directly. Even still, I want to say that Domain decks that are centered around winning through, like exclusively through combat, like obviously most decks win through combat, but when their stick is specifically dealing with combat, like the battle phase, it's typically not good. This was pretty much true until we got Tenpai, right? And Tenpai was just ridiculous. You can still have fun though. Just know that in Domain, you're gonna have a rough time because there's only a 25% chance that you'll get the first battle phase. Otherwise, 75% of the time, you're going to have to wait until your second turn to get a battle phase. And that feels pretty rough when your deck is centered around the battle phase and being able to attack. So just keep that in mind when you're building this deck. It kind of has a built-in flaw. But going forward, we can assume that we have access to Earth and any Beast Warrior monster. Now, we might be a little bit sparse on monsters, main deck monsters for the Domain deck, but we do have the other decks to go into and try and cannibalize whatever we can to finish out our deck. Again, I think that's why one of the reasons why this product is so good is that you can buy this and build any one of these 3 decks and have access to a lot of tools just from what comes in the box. Because as you saw, there was a lot of staples that came with it. So I'm going to just go ahead and add all the archetype cards and the generic cards that are clearly meant to play with the deck. Add them really quick and see where we're at. This right here puts us at 18 cards. This might be a little bit more difficult than I thought, but this is just the archetype cards. There were also the rest of these pretty good staples that I could add. I'm also going to check out the other decks for what I can add to these. I can add these 6 from the Sky Striker deck. That puts us at 31. And then out of the Mitsurugi deck, we can salvage these for cards, 3 main deck and 1 tape here. All that work got us to 34 cards in the main deck. The extra deck, though, is looking pretty good. We have some options. Naturia Beast and Berkyon are legitimately super annoying to deal with in Domain. You have the threat with Gotems to take out people's hands. Hyun Lee is actually super interesting because it says you can destroy 3 spell traps on the field and destroy them, meaning you could pick from different spell traps that different players control. Doesn't have to be one player. Nice to have access to that in the extra deck. You do have the taper in case you need to slow the game down a little bit. This Gotems is actually super interesting. It has a Saber or Gotems spell trap. When it inflicts damage, you can discard 1 random card from their hand. And when an X-Saber monster is targeted for an attack while this is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, then change the attack target to this card. Which, if you put it into attack position and it ends up dealing battle damage to them, you can make them discard a card still. It doesn't say it has to be attacking. I like this quite a bit. Being able to jump out of the graveyard all the time kind of makes it difficult to get to your life points. This guy's kind of like the deck's in archetype Chichao. Gets bigger for each banished monster, which includes your opponent's banished monsters. When it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you get to draw a card. Whenever your opponent activates a card or effect, you can tribute a monster, an X-Saber monster, destroy 1 card your opponent controls. And if this card would be destroyed, you can banish a Saber card from your graveyard instead. So it doesn't even have to banish a monster, it could banish spell or traps, but kind of interesting. Gives similar vibes to, Sword Soul Chichao. I don't think this guy will come up all the time, or much at all. Just kind of helps also rip more cards out of their hand. I'm going to be completely honest, I thought I was going to be able to build an entire deck. But honestly, that's okay. This is like an amazing start to a Domain deck. And even though you have to fill this out with like another 25 cards, it shouldn't be too hard because I'm sure you can find, in your collection, 25 cards that you can just go down the list of like pretty generic cards. Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Giant Trunade, Polygree, Graceful Charity, yada yada. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm actually surprised it doesn't have the rank 3 X-Saber Xyz guy. He seems pretty good. But there's a ton of other, like, even if you just look at Earth monsters, there's a lot of things you could add in here. Maxi, Ghost Bell, Prime Eye Dragon Engine. You could even add like Fenrir, Pankratops, Kaijus, Alpha Master of Beasts. The Melfi engine would be funny. You could actually add Rescue Cat. Ooh, I bet Zodiac would actually be really good here. But you catch what I'm saying. Like, I kind of noticed this thing where people think that building Domain decks is super hard. I really don't think it is. You just got to kind of experiment. Just because you can't build a 60 card pile with just X-Sabers doesn't mean you couldn't find things that easily like either incorporate themselves into the deck or supplement the deck or are just there to be useful. And even though this isn't finished, I still think you can kind of like mess around and you can assume this is your Deckmaster. You'll always have access to this. So you can try and find your lines of play and I'll see what we can do with just these cards. All right. So you can pretty much just kind of try and figure out what you can do just off of your Deckmaster alone. Because when you start the game, you will have access to her. So at the beginning of the game, you'll obviously draw 5 cards, draw your 6 cards per turn. I'm going to assume they all do nothing and just try and see what we can do with her alone. You can summon her, activate her on summon effect. We're supposed to card some and Bruno. Bruno on summon will activate to add an X-Saber spell. We're going to get Combination, which is going to be our payoff. While there are 10 or more X-Saber monsters in your field, graveyard, or banishment, your X-Saber monsters gain attack equal to their original defense. This is going to make them super hard to get over and will threaten the game on its own. But this gives you some nice resources because whenever you special summon an X-Saber from the extra deck, you'll be able to summon an X-Saber from your hand or deck. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon an X-Saber from your hand. We're going to go ahead and activate that face up now. And we're going to do a Synchro. We're going to the level 7 X-Saber Gotems. Saber Combination will activate to summon from deck, and Gotems will activate to add a spell from deck. We'll have Gotems Second Call, and special summon Rocky Gura. He'll activate on summon to add an X-Saber from graveyard to hand. Bruno. We'll activate Gotems Second Call, which monster reborns 2 X-Sabers, but they're destroyed at end of turn. Here we'll use our Deckmaster and a level 1 for Naturia Beast. Naturia Beast won't get the added benefits from our Deckmaster because it's not an X-Saber monster. We'll go ahead and summon the Bruno from our hand by banishing the level 1 from graveyard. Now here doesn't seem all that good, but we're gonna end here. The reason being is this was revived with Gotems Second Call and it's going to be destroyed. And because of that, we'll get to add an X-Saber from our deck to our hand. You normally add another Polina, but we only have one. It's our Deckmaster. We can go ahead and add Dark Soul to our hand. And then during your opponent's turn, another reason why we waited is because during their turn, we can quick effect Synchro and do Commander Soza. And because we have Soza, we summoned Soza, we could summon with Combination. Now here, normally you'd go get another Bruno to use its on summon effect and its quick effect synchro, but we got to make do what we got. Now, if you think your opponent's going to be going to battle phase, you could add, Emmer's Blade to kind of recruit her into something else. You could also go get Full Helm Knight to try and stop a big attack and try and revive more monsters by the time it gets back to your turn. Or you could go get Pashul, which, can't be destroyed by battle. But you got to be careful because during a full round, you'll end up taking, I guess since it's already past your first opponent's standby, the other 2 standby phases, you'll end up taking 1,000 damage on each of those. Or you could go get Polar Moru to try and get some recursion set up in your graveyard ahead of time. I would say just to be safe, go get Emmer's Blade. Now, at this point, if you were able to use Polina and Bruno's, the second copy of those, and let's say advanced, you would probably be getting to the 10 card limit for combination during this opponent's turn that I'm talking about. Unfortunately, just off our Deckmaster, a little bit short of that. But again, this is not taking into consideration the rest of the cards that you drew. I'm sure you could extend quite a bit harder if you had a lot more things like Monster Reborn, Spellcard Monster Reborn, Change of Heart type of effects to take things from people to continue synchroing in bigger things, or link climbing even. But, just gonna be honest, you're pretty limited just off the fact that this archetype is very old, and without the multiple copies of Bruno and Polina, you're quite limited. Hey guys, post-editing Jesse here, and an idea just struck me. It would probably be a really good idea to try and implement a lot of Call the Haunted effects back to the front, things that can bring back monsters from the graveyard to play during your opponent's turn, so that you could effectively get a second copy of Belina or Bruno to use their effects a second time. I think those would be really good here. So I didn't think about it in the moment, but if I was fully fleshing out this deck, I would be trying to add as many effective copies of Call the Haunted as I could here. Here specifically, bringing back a Polina with Call the Haunted would allow you to get the 2 more monsters that would get you closer to the 10 for Saber combination, or bringing back Bruno here would allow you to quick synchro into, the level 6 that lets you pop 3 spell or traps. The quick synchro is a soft once per turn, so you would be able to use it twice in the same turn, like in this example. But as soon as they declare an attack, this Gothem's gonna jump out in front of it, and since you don't care about it, you could use it as sack fodder for Commander Soza to pop things. And when they declare an attack, you'll be able to have this jump out of your hand, get in the way. That's the best I got. Sorry. It's with just out of the box, this is pretty close to the best it can do just off your Deckmaster. Like I said, you would need to add quite a bit of supporting cards to it to do things to help it, swarm a little bit better, so that you can hit that 10 creature number and end up being a giant threat. Because I imagine the way you're going to be ending most games is using Polina to synchro out something like Swordmaster, and then once you do finally have the 10 X-Saber limit, this will go up to 4,100 that can attack twice and directly. I think even though I'm saying that this is a pretty old archetype, it's definitely still a major threat that can out of nowhere take somebody out. So I really think people got to respect the deck. I also know that the combos get considerably better when you have Fault Roll in your hand. I'm not sure exactly all the ways to get this to your hand preemptively. I think the only thing we got to work off with so far is Small World, but that's also what I'm noticing from all these combo videos that I'm watching, is it includes this a lot of the time, which is why the deck comes with 3 of them. In this video, I won't be going over the other decks just to save on time on the video, but if you guys want to see me do the same thing for either Mitsurugi or Sky Striker, just let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Again, I think this is an amazing product, and this is going to be the first video in a series where I try and make domain decks just out of, some sort of structure, pre-con product from Konami. And the next one I have planned is opening up these 2 Charmer decks to make a Charmer domain deck. And I have the 2 branded decks on the way, and I also have more ideas. So subscribe if you want to catch those. I'm trying to help more people get into domain. The easier it is, the better. I want to incentivize people to just kind of build extra decks to keep on them, so that they have extra decks to loan out to people who maybe want to try it with their friends at their LGS, their local game store. So yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Christ is King, and God bless you all.